Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the world of NASA, where you'll see that some of the biggest drama isn't happening out in space, but right here on Earth. It's a story about budget battles that go down to the wire, a political fight over a national treasure, and a wild discovery that might just change how we see the universe. Let's get to it.
An extinction-level event. Yeah, you heard that right. That's the phrase that started sending shockwaves through the entire space and science community. And it was used to describe a proposed budget cut to NASA's science programs for fiscal year 2026. A cut so massive, it really did threaten the very heart of what NASA is all about.
And this chart, wow, it tells the whole story of just how close we came to a total catastrophe. Just look at these numbers. For 2025, a pretty healthy $7.33 billion budget. Then, the proposed cut for 2026, a staggering drop to just $3.9 billion. Can you imagine? After a huge fight, they landed on a final agreement of $7.25 billion. So yeah, they dodged a bullet, but it's a huge reminder of just how fragile NASA's funding really is.
So, disaster was averted, right? But this last-minute deal between the House and Senate Appropriations Committees, it kind of reveals a troubling truth. NASA is constantly walking on a financial tightrope. It means the agency has to be just as good at navigating politics in Washington as it is at navigating, the actual cosmos. But here's the catch. This victory had a cost. To save the science money, the funding for the Artemis program, our big plan to get back to the moon, had to take a hit. It's the classic Washington compromise, isn't it? For one thing to get what it needs, something else has to give. Now, this fight for NASA's future, it isn't just about big, abstract budget numbers. Sometimes it gets really personal, and in this case, it's all centered on one single, iconic piece of American history, the Space Shuttle Discovery. Okay, so at the center of this whole thing are two very powerful Texas senators. And they are absolutely convinced that Houston, it's the home of mission control, deserves to have a real space shuttle. They even passed a law, and get this, it's called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which puts NASA's new administrator, Jared Isaacman, in a really, really tough position. The thing is, trying to move the Discovery is a logistical nightmare. First off, NASA doesn't even own it anymore. It legally belongs to the Smithsonian. The cost could easily double the already huge $85 million budget. The special 747 jets that used to carry the shuttles, they're museum pieces now too. And the biggest fear of all, they might have to take the priceless orbiter apart, which could damage it forever. So what do? You're caught between a political rock and a logistical hard place. Well, Administrator Isaacman did something pretty brilliant. He completely shifted the conversation from the past to the future, away from a retired icon and toward the next generation of space exploration. And Isaacman's big idea, it's honestly a stroke of genius. He's offering Houston a choice. On one hand, you've got a relic from a legendary era. On the other, you have a piece of the future. The Discovery is the past, but an Orion capsule from the Artemis program, that's a symbol of where we are going right now, back to the moon and then on to Mars. It's a chance for Houston to have living history, not just history under glass. One way or another, Johnson Space Center gets their historic spacecraft right where it belongs. Listen to those words. It's so carefully phrased. With that one sentence, Isaacman managed to thread the political needle. He showed respect for Houston's legacy. He satisfied the senators, but he left the door wide open for a solution that's way more practical and forward-thinking than moving the Discovery. So after all the political maneuvering and the backroom deals, it's really easy to lose sight of why any of this matters. What's the point? What's the ultimate prize that makes all of this drama on Earth actually worth it? Well, the answer isn't in Washington. It's hundreds of millions of light years away, out in the absolute darkness between the galaxies. And it's a discovery so weird, so unexpected, it makes all the political fights back here on Earth seem, pretty small. And this is where it all connects. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, a program that literally exists because of those budget battles we just talked about, scientists found something incredible. They're calling it Cloud 9. It's basically a massive, ancient cloud of gas that, for some reason, just never turned into a galaxy. It never managed to form stars. The lead scientist calls it a failed galaxy. And think about it. Just like how our own failures can be our best teachers, this cosmic failure is giving us unbelievable new clues about how the universe itself was built. Because there are no bright stars in the way, Cloud 9 is like a perfectly clean window into the cosmos. It's giving us this rare, direct look at dark matter. That's the invisible stuff, the scaffolding that holds our entire universe together. This one failed galaxy could be the key to solving one of the biggest mysteries in all of science.
So when you connect all these dots, you start to see this incredible balancing act that NASA has to perform every single day. The agency has to be a smart politician, a careful historian, and a fearless explorer, all at the same time. It's a constant juggle, but it's absolutely essential if we're going to keep pushing the boundaries of what we know.
And that kind of leaves us with one final big question. As we push further into this century and we're looking at the moon, at Mars, and who knows what's beyond, which of these three roles, the politician, the historian, or the explorer, do you think will be the most important one for NASA's future?